The stage was set for Daddy Yankee's rise, just as a musical revolution was brewing in the streets of Puerto Rico. In the early 1990s, the youth from the housing projects and neighborhoods of San Juan were blending musical styles from all over the Caribbean and the Americas. This new underground music fused Jamaican dancehall reggae and Panamanian Spanish reggae with the beats of American hip-hop, all over a base of Latin rhythms like salsa and bomba that were already vibrating on the island. It was a true mix of cultures. The reggae in Spanish brought by the Panamanians, the booming bass of hip-hop imported from New York, and the Afro-Latin musical heritage of Puerto Rico. In the Marquis, the garage parties in popular neighborhoods, local DJs mixed these sounds while young MCs improvised in Spanish, giving rise to what would later be known as underground music. This raw and powerful sound was the seed of reggaeton, although no one called it that yet. From the beginning, reggaeton was street music. Its lyrics spoke unfiltered about life in the neighborhood. It was the voice of marginalized youth, and for the authorities, it sounded too real. In the mid-1990s, the Puerto Rican government began to be alarmed by this new raw movement.
In Puerto Rico, there is no comprehensive plan to protect your family's safety. That's why, in the last 10 years, nearly 6,000 murders, 50,000 assaults, and more than 1 million crimes have been committed. That's enough already. Pedro Rosello wants to do something now. He is the only leader with a complete plan of new ideas to take a hard stance against crime. The safety of your family needs a new leader. Pedro Rosello, a tough stance against crime.
At that time, the island was facing a growing wave of crime and drug trafficking. In 1993, Governor Pedro Rosello launched the infamous Tough Hand campaign, even deploying the National Guard to occupy the housing projects as part of an offensive against crime. In this environment, officials began to blame underground music for causing crime and violence. They claimed that these rappers were corrupting public order with vulgar lyrics and the glorification of crime. What followed was practically a witch hunt against the pioneers of reggaeton. The police raided music stores to confiscate underground cassettes under obscenity laws, and the DJs had to distribute their mixtapes in secret. The Department of Education even banned baggy pants and hip-hop style clothing in schools, associating the style with the feared music. But the movement would not be stopped so easily. Fans and artists of the genre simply went further underground. They organized spontaneous street parties and jams in garages. The pirated cassettes were sold hand-to-hand and circulated underground. As an academic pointed out, this music existed on the margins of society and the law, but it was an authentic expression of a youth that felt invisible and voiceless. Far from disappearing, the underground scene kept growing. By the mid-90s, despite the repression, those homemade recordings had already reached some stores and nightclubs. Reggaeton was beginning to cross over from the housing projects to middle-class youth, from the margins to the mainstream culture of Puerto Rico. Reggaeton no longer only resonated in the housing projects or blasted from modified cars. It was beginning to infiltrate nightclubs, radio stations, and the fringes of Puerto Rican popular culture. The sound was evolving, the stage was expanding, and for the first time, the world seemed ready to listen. But in a movement still searching for its face, its voice, its leader, one question remained in the air. Who would rise with the rhythm and shape the future?